Trump teases possible U.S. strike as Iran Supreme Leader warns America. Live updates. Washington. Iran's Supreme Commander threatened irreparable damage if the United States joined Israel's air assault, while President Donald Trump hinted at a potential American strike on the country. "I might do it." On June 18, Trump told reporters at the White House, "I might not do it. No one can predict what I'll do." He predicted that the upcoming week will be extremely significant. Less than a week, perhaps. As Iranians clogged the highways out of Tehran in an attempt to escape more intense Israeli airstrikes, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei earlier dismissed any idea of surrender in a speech that was broadcast on television the day after Trump called for Iran's unconditional surrender on social media. Khamenei's defiant speech came after a sixth night of airstrikes by Israel and Iran sent civilians fleeing for safety in Tehran and Tel Aviv. Intelligent people who know Iran, the Iranian nation and its history will never speak to this nation in threatening language because the Iranian nation will not surrender, he said. Trump on June 17 personally threatened Khamenei, calling him an easy target. U.S. evacuating Americans by air and cruise ship. The United States is working to evacuate U.S. citizens wishing to leave Israel by arranging flights and cruise ship departures, U.S. Ambassador Mike Huckabee said in a post on X on Wednesday, as fears mount of further military escalation between Iran and Israel. The U.S. Embassy in Jerusalem was working on the evacuation arrangements, Huckabee said, urging Americans in the country to sign up for updates through the State Department's Smart Traveler program. Urgent notice. American citizens wanting to leave Israel. U.S. Embassy in Israel at US Ambassadorm is working on evacuation flights and cruise ship departures. You must enroll in the Smart Traveler Enrollment Program, STEP, Huckabee wrote. Iran is set to impose temporary restrictions on internet access, the Communications Ministry said in a statement relayed by Iranian media on Wednesday, as the country continues to exchange missiles with Israel. The statement said the move was to prevent the enemy from threatening citizens' lives and property. Iran says it won't grovel for Trump. Iran's Miss Ison to the United Nations said its leaders would never grovel at the gates of the White House after Trump told reporters Tehran had requested a meeting there. The only thing more despicable than his lies is his cowardly threat to take out Iran's supreme leader, the mission said on X. Iran does not negotiate under duress, shall not accept peace under duress, and certainly not with a has-been warmonger clinging to relevance. Iran shall respond to any threat with a counter-threat, and to any action with reciprocal measures, the statement warned. Trump snubs Putin offer to mediate. Trump said Russian President Vladimir Putin offered to mediate talks between Israel and Iran during a call between the two men Tuesday, but Trump told the Russian leader to focus on ending his country's war with Ukraine. "I spoke to him yesterday. He actually offered to mediate," Trump told reporters on June 18. "I said, do me a favor. Mediate your own. Let's mediate Russia first, okay? I think that's going to work out, too, but so many people have been killed," Trump said, adding that far more people are dead in the Russia-Ukraine war than reported. Trump has increased his communication with Putin amid the Israel-Iran conflict. He spoke to Putin on Saturday, June 16. Trump, who turned 79 that day, said Putin called to wish him happy birthday and to, more importantly, talk about Iran, a country he knows very well. Trump cancelled a scheduled June 17 meeting with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky in Alberta, Canada, due to his early exit from the Group of Seven summit to focus on the Israel-Iran war. Joey Garrison. Trump says he will still attend next week's NATO summit. Despite the escalating Israel-Iran conflict, Trump told reporters he still plans to attend next week's North American Treaty Organization summit set to take place at The Hague in the Netherlands. "Yeah, I'll be going. I think so," Trump said on June 18. The NATO conference is set for June the 24th and 25th. This week, Trump left the Group of Seven meeting in Alberta, Canada, early to return to the White House to address the fighting in the Middle East. Joey Garrison. President to MAGA doubters, "We have to act." Trump brushed off divisions in the MAGA movement over potential U.S. involvement in strikes on Iran, telling reporters his supporters are more in love with him now than during the 2024 election. "I only want one thing. Iran cannot have a nuclear weapon," Trump said. "It's not a question of anything else. A nuclear-armed Iran would be a terror all over the world," he said. "So I may have some people that are a little bit unhappy now, and I have some people that are very happy," Trump said. "And I have people outside of the Republican base that can't believe this is happening, they're so happy." He added, "All I'm doing is saying, you can't have a nuclear weapon. And I tried to do it nicely, and then on day 61, I said, let's go. Because we can't let that happen." Trump. It's late for talking. President Donald Trump, who until late last week had been pushing a diplomatic solution to Iran's nuclear program, said Tehran had reached to Washington, but it's very late to be talking. There's a big difference between now and a week ago, Trump told reporters outside the White House. Trump said that Iran had proposed, in a last-minute outreach, to come for talks at the White House. He did not provide details. He described Iran as totally defenseless. They even suggested they come to the White House, Trump said. That's courageous, but it's not easy for them to do. Iran's mission to the United Nations rejected Trump's claim. No Iranian official has ever asked to grovel at the gates of the White House. The only thing more despicable than his lies is his cowardly threat to take out Iran's supreme leader, the mission said in a statement on X. Nearby, on Capitol Hill, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth told the Senate Armed Services Committee the Pentagon is ready for whatever action Trump might order against Iran. If and when those decisions are made, the department is prepared to execute them, Hegseth said. Joey Garrison. Schumer demands classified Iran briefing. Senate Democratic leader Chuck Schumer said that he has asked the Trump administration to provide all 100 senators a classified briefing on the situation unfolding between Israel and Iran. We've gotten briefings and I have requested that we get an all-senators classified briefing, Schumer said, adding that he believes it will be granted. Tucker versus Ted. Conservatives battle over Iran. Conservative media figure Tucker Carlson grilled Republican Sen. Ted Cruz on Iran in a contentious exchange that is drawing attention to the divide between conservatives on U.S. military action in the country. How many people live in Iran, by the way? Carlson asked Cruz in an excerpt released June 17 from Carlson's online show. Cruz, who recently said on Fox News it's very much in the interest of America to see regime change in Iran, told Carlson he didn't know the country's population. Later, Carlson told Cruz, "You don't know anything about Iran." "I am not the Tucker Carlson expert on Iran," Cruz responded. "You're a senator who's calling for the overthrow of the government," Carlson retorted. Zach Anderson. Iran's supreme leader bucks Trump demands. Ayatollah Ali Khamenei has been Iran's supreme leader since 1989, holding on to absolute power over the Islamic Republic through popular uprisings, assassinations, and a massive expansion, and now contraction, of Tehran's regional power. Khamenei lost his top military leadership and most important nuclear scientists in Israeli airstrikes last week, and was later personally threatened by President Trump. Here's some of what he had to say in a June 18 address. The President of the United States has recently opened his mouth to threaten us. He is both threatening and, with a ridiculous and unacceptable statement, explicitly asking the Iranian nation to come and surrender to me. When a person observes these things, he is truly amazed. The Iranian nation cannot be surrendered. We have not been subjected to anyone, and we will not accept any kind of submission. And, of course, the Americans, those who are familiar with the politics of this region, know that America's intervention in this matter is 100% to their detriment. What they will suffer in this regard is much greater than what Iran may suffer. Life is going on normally, thank God. Do not let the enemy feel that you are afraid of him, that you feel weak. If the enemy feels that you are afraid of him, he will not let you go. Civilians flee another night of missiles and bombs. Israel's military said 50 Israeli jets had struck around 20 targets in Tehran overnight, including sites producing raw materials, components, and manufacturing systems for missiles. The military told Iranians to leave parts of the capital for their safety while it struck targets. Traffic was backed up on highways leading out of the city of 10 million people. Arazu, 31, told Reuters by phone that she had made it out to the nearby resort town of Lavasan. "We will stay here as long as this war continues. My friend's house in Tehran was attacked and her brother was injured. They are civilians," she said. Why are we paying the price for the regime's decision to pursue a nuclear program? In Israel, sirens rang out warning people of Iranian retaliatory missile strikes. At Ramat Gan City train station east of Tel Aviv, people were lying on city-supplied mattresses lined along the floor, the odd camping chair and plastic water bottles strewn about. "I feel scared, overwhelmed. Especially because I live in a densely populated area that Iran seems to be targeting, and our city has very old buildings, without shelters and safe spaces," said Tamar Weiss, clutching her 4-month-old daughter. Reuters. Will Trump send U.S. bunker busters? As Israel and Iran trade blows in an escalating aerial war, Israel has its sights trained on taking out Iran's nuclear facilities, and it wants the U.S. military's help. Israel wants the Pentagon to drop the bombs because their penetrating weapons cannot reach the depth necessary to destroy underground facilities, according to a U.S. official who was not authorized to speak publicly. Fully demolishing Iran's nuclear facilities would require 30,000-pound massive ordnance penetrator, MOP, bombs, or bunker busters, which Israel's military doesn't have. But Israel could use smaller penetrating weapons to collapse the entryways to Iran's underground nuclear facilities, Scott Murray, a retired Air Force colonel and intelligence officer, told USA Today. Israel could then effectively bar Iran from recovery work at the sites. Think of it as a no-work zone patrolled from above, he said. Air superiority buys incredible capability and flexibility. Sibylle Mays-Osterman and Tom Vanden Broek. The hardest target in Iran. Israel's National Security Advisor Tsachi Hanegbi offered the clearest signal yet about the goals of Israel's air campaign, telling local Channel 12 News on June 17 the military is going after the hardest target in Iran, the Fordow nuclear enrichment plant. This operation will not conclude without a strike on the Fordow nuclear facility, Hanegbi said. Fordow, built into a mountain to withstand airstrikes, has 1,000 centrifuges used to enrich uranium. Hanegbi made clear Israel's war would only end after Fordow was hit. Analysts say that would take a U.S. bunker buster bomb, dropped from an American plane. But Hanegbi said Israel was ready to go it alone. We're not trying to convince the Americans to join, he said. The Prime Minister has a close and intimate dialogue with President Trump, but we never received any promise the U.S. would take part. Hanegbi added the plan is entirely blue and white, fully Israeli, without external military support. Thanks for watching USA Signal, your source for real news, real fast. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.